Good morning, trading world. Today is February 2nd, 2021, and this is my pre market outlook. I'm going to begin with the things that I do the most. I am a futures trader, however, I do trade some individual stocks, but primarily I am a futures day trader. Um, and on days like today, where I may not be behind the desk, I will transfer some of those futures trades and kind of do the equal in options. Um, so, hence the two instruments that I have up right away, because primarily on the future side I would be trading the NASDAQ. So hence is why I have the QQQs up, because that is the equal or correlation in an ETF of the NASDAQ futures. And we're going to start here with the SPY, which is basically the equal of the ES or mini S&P 500 futures. And I'm going to start with or touch on a few things which are very important in any type of trades that you do, is to, number one, always know your risk. With everything that's going on with GameStop, AMC, and I did purchase a little bit of AMC, and the first thing that I said on the video when I talked about AMC is only purchasing an amount that you can afford to lose. And I'm going to say I commend the Reddit boards and what they did when it came to GameStop. But at some point in time, you have to come to the realization that it's not going to go to the moon, and you have to book your profits. I didn't talk about that on GameStop because I didn't talk about GameStop at all. I was late to the party with GameStop. However, with AMC, I thought I would give it a try, and I will let you know what is going on with AMC later in the video. But right now, what you're looking at is the SPY. And what's important, when I started off Monday, I said even Friday, I halted on some trades because I was looking to find some short positions, but I could see that there was a bounce that was coming in play, and you key that with the first of the month, where a lot of the 401ks and retirement funds release their money. There's going to be a lot of buying, and I wanted to see whether that buying or that influx of money could kind of team up with the short covering, taking a breath, and the short covering is a form of buying, and whether it could kick something off to a much more powerful bounce. And today's the day where we kind of find it out. We're going to kind of investigate today and kind of use today kind of to see whether we get that evidence of a more powerful bounce being started. So we'll know today. So what I'm going to be looking for today, using the SPYs for the general markets, I have levels on the chart that I see this as being a level of oversold, where there's a lot of selling going on, and there's a maximum amount of selling to where Um, we could continue, or we could basically compress for the next move, whether it be higher or lower. We're not sure yet. And also, there's a level here that I have is marked as being overbought, which is where I figure if we continue the bounce, we would end up somewhere up here at some point today. So that's what I'm going to be keeping my eye on. And depending on how the internals line up is whether I see this as a point where I would want to get short, or whether the continuation happens and this is the area to where to keep long, because I do have some long positions, some long options in the SPY that I bought on Friday. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking to see whether this plays out, and according to what I can kind of see so far, we may have kind of ran far enough where the market needs to take a breath. So which means we'll stay in an area and kind of compress. And that's going to give us this choppy back and forth where we're really not going anywhere. So that's what I want to be careful of. But so far, it looks like we're going to open up, as far as I can see right now, at least on the SPY, we're going to open higher. We're going to open to the upside. So there's going to be a lot of energy to kind of continue this upward momentum. When it comes to the Qs, the Qs have kind of been forerunning the market. They've been kind of out of head of everything. The QQQs have pretty much dragged the market where it wants to go. So if the Qs have a good day and there's a lot of buying going on in the QQQs, the entire market is pretty much going to see a good day and it's going to continue up. However, signs are showing that the Qs may be overbought, and it may be, it's definitely time to compress, but after we compress, it may decide to go lower. So that's what we have to be careful of. And if the Qs go lower, so goes the entire market. It will follow not too far behind. But I'll be looking at the onset of the open to see what the advancers versus decliners are, and the internals to see where we are headed. And these are one of those days where you have to take that first, at least the first 3 bars, and sometimes the first 30 minutes to kind of determine the direction before you make or take any actions. And right now that hourly is bearish. The 30-minute is bearish. And to me, we could have a drop back down to here to this 324, 320 area. And if we can't break this 325, it's definitely a bearish sign that everything, this bounce is very short-lived and could be over with, and we're going to continue to the short side. So this is very critical of what I'll be watching after the open to see whether we get here and are able to hold somewhere in this area and bounce back. And that bounce could be back to here, this 325 area, somewhere in there. And if it holds below that 325 area, the 325 and a half, I will know that it is definitely time to short. Going into AMC, I bring the chart into AMC again. Like I said, only experiment with what you can afford to lose. So as I look at AMC this morning, we definitely blew through the original support area, and we seem to be in a downward trend. There's no bullish, or not enough bullish volume that I see, but that could change at the opening. But we have reached the support level. This support level is 888, and this could kick off into more buying activity. If we can break this level at 998, the market has its ebb and flow, where just like anything else, if you were running, you can't run forever. You have to take a breath. And think of it as maybe the ebb and flow of water. How waves come in and then they go out and come back in. Well, the same is true with stocks or any of the instruments that we trade. Even though it may want to go to 1 or it may want to go to 20, it's not going to be a straight line. You're going to have what's called pullbacks. Whether we're going down, there's going to be a pullback to the upside, and then a continuation of the trend down. And what I'm seeing here, we have a decision that's about to be made. If the MACD can turn positive as far as momentum, we could have a retest back up here into this $13 to $14 area. What I'll be looking for is that once this breather starts, if there's enough bullish action to continue and turn this into a rally. If it turns into a rally, the MACD will turn positive and we'll bust through this area here and continue. But if we decide to stall out, say in this area, or not make it through or stall through at this area right at 14, and there's not enough bullish activity, that would be a sign to me to basically cut my losses and go on to the next instrument or find the next stock or the next play. But that's what I will be looking for. But we are at a level of support, and I do expect a pull back up into this maybe 13 to 14 area. Okay, yes, we should have support at about this 924 area here, and we'll see what happens, whether we can break through this 981 to continue up to that $13 to $14 area. But there has to be some bullish activity. That's what I'll be keeping an eye on. Just like within the overall markets, I'm keeping an eye on the internals to see whether this bounce from yesterday continues and whether it has legs to start and go higher. But otherwise, in the general markets, I am looking for the top of this rally to short. And there we are into the open. I will close this video out. Good luck to you, traders. I hope you have a profitable day, and always know your risk.